Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Benyar BY-5169m Chronograph. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing the Pagani Design Rose Gold Daytona Homage, and Grego is wearing my Casio calculator watch. Grego wants one of those new bronze Tudors with the bronze bracelet. I asked him if he was afraid the bronze would turn his wrist green. He just stared at me and shook his head. Here's the watch. It's designed to look like a modern Rolex Daytona ceramic. I bought the white dial because this is the more popular Daytona out there. They also have a black dial, gold two-tone, and both white and black with solid color subdials. And this is one of the cheaper Benyars out there right now due to the movement. This being a chronograph, of course, it is not automatic, it is quartz. There's no such thing as a cheap automatic chronograph. The watch is 38.8 millimeters at the bezel, 47.9 millimeters lug to lug, 11.9 millimeters thick, 20 millimeter lug width, and weighs only 126 grams, which is pretty light for an all steel watch. Well, this isn't all steel, it's chrome plated alloy, but looks like all steel. If you look at the bezel, I doubt if it's ceramic. I bet it's some kind of plastic. And if you look at the tachymeter, it's printed on and not engraved. The white dial looks pretty nice with the applied indices, and then it has the Benyar chronograph printed on and not applied, and the red sport is a nice touch, and the Benyar logo has always looked fine. The dial is flat, but the three subdials have a sunburst effect. You can see that when I tilt it. The case is a chrome plated alloy, even though it says solid stainless steel on the case back. Benyar has a habit of embellishing their case material. They say solid stainless steel on the case backs, but it is not. It is chrome plated. If you look here, you can see the little scratch marks right there when I was changing the bracelet, and as you can see, that is definitely not a solid stainless steel case. The unsigned crown is not a screw down crown, but oddly enough the pushers are. See, you can unscrew the pushers and screw them back in. There's only basic 30 meters water resistance, so I don't understand why they even bothered with the screw down pushers, but I guess it's better to have real screw down pushers than fake ones. The whole point of screw down pushers is so you don't accidentally push the pushers while you're underwater, but I do not recommend taking this one underwater. Of course, I do not have the equipment to test water resistance, but when the water resistance is just at the bare minimum and you have a snap-on case back, I don't recommend submerging it. So this is a chronograph watch, so let me show you the chronograph in action. Press it, and as you can see, it's the bottom subdial that is the chronograph second hand and not the big second hand. The big second hand is just your watch second hand. Press it again to stop it. Press it again to reset it. Pretty basic. And you can screw the pushers back down when you're done with that. The other subdials is you have a minute indicator for the chronograph, and this one here is just a 24-hour indicator for the main watch. The crystal is just basic mineral glass, and the date has vertical alignment issues. It's really close to the top of the date window, and I checked and it does it for every single one, not just that one. So it's just a little bit misaligned there. Not horrible, but just a little bit. The movement is a Langexen LD53, which I'm assuming is a Chinese knockoff of a MD53 movement. And basically the movement is the downfall of the watch. One of my pet peeves is if a chronograph has a tachymeter but then uses the bottom subdial for the stopwatch. That makes the tachymeter completely useless. And it has really loose crown action. Let me pull the crown and show you. See, it goes all over the place. And then when you push it in, it jumps. So that makes setting the watch precisely very difficult. About the only saving grace of this movement is at least the second hand seems to hit the marks mostly. Sometimes they're off just a little bit, but not very much. Not enough to trigger anybody's OCD if they have the whole quartz alignment OCD issue. I just really wish they would have put a VK63 Mecha Quartz in here. I know it would have raised the price, but I think they could have kept the price lower than the Pagani design watches or the Parnis and still gave us a halfway decent movement. The bracelet has hollow end links, and the links themselves aren't too bad. They have polished center links. Of course, these are single links. They're not really a 3-link bracelet. It has push pins and not screw-in pins, but they come out nice and easy and go in nice and easy, but they seem to stay in just fine. I've never had a issue with Benyar bracelets where the pins came out when I didn't want them to. I had to remove 2 links to fit this on my 7.5-inch wrist. And if you look at the clasp, it's your typical Benyar clasp with no micro adjust whatsoever. So you're kind of at the luck of the draw if it's going to fit your wrist precisely or not. At least it's not a heavy watch, so it's okay if it's a hair loose. Here it is on my 7.5-inch wrist. Fits okay. It's just a hair tight. I've found when it comes to these watches with no micro adjust, I'd rather have it just a hair tight than too loose and flopping around. The loom seemed pretty good when I put it in the loom room, so I decided to do a side-by-side comparison. It would be unfair to compare it against a Heimdall or the Seiko, so I used my Sterling Formula I and my Pagani Design No Time to Die homage, which have good but not spectacular loom. As you can see though, the Benyar is getting smoked. The loom really isn't that good. I was kind of deceived when I saw it in the loom room, but the other 2 watches are clearly blowing it away. What do I like about this watch? Well, it doesn't look too bad. It has the Daytona look for such a reasonable price. And I was kind of surprised that it actually had real screw-in pushers. Not that you need them. It's just if they're gonna look like screw-in pushers, it's kind of nice that they actually are. What are my gripes and groans? Well, first of all, the movement. The movement is not good. The crown action is horrible, makes setting the watch precisely difficult. And also the chronograph hand is the bottom subdial and not the main hand, which makes the tachymeter completely useless. Also, there's no micro adjust on the clasp, making a perfect fit difficult. And Benyar, please stop calling your chrome-plated watches solid steel, because they're not. Do I recommend this watch? No, I really don't. I mean, if you want a Daytona looking watch and don't want to spend a lot of money, then it's not junk. It's not going to fall apart on you and break. It's just do yourself a favor and spend a little bit more and get the Parnis or the Pagani Design or something that has a better movement than this. If it had a decent movement, I would recommend it, but this movement is not good. In fact, when I sell this watch after this review, because that's what I have to do, because I'm not funded by anything, It's not going to break my heart to leave this watch. Whenever I had to wear it while I was getting ready for the review, I would look at my wrist and just was looking forward to getting this review over with so I could wear something else. Okay, thank you for watching my review of this Benyar watch. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I guess I should start saying that at the beginning of my videos, because nobody usually makes it to the end of my videos if you look at my YouTube statistics. Bye.